The United Arab Emirates is one of the world's leading centers for obtaining crypto licenses thanks to its clear regulatory framework and the presence of special economic zones. Drawing on extensive experience, our lawyers have prepared a detailed guide on the licensing process, the available types of licenses, and the key aspects of working with cryptocurrencies in the United Arab Emirates. First, regulatory environment and jurisdictions. In the United Arab Emirates, there is no single authority overseeing all aspects of cryptocurrency activity. Licensing is carried out within the framework of two main jurisdictional models. The first is special economic zones, the so-called SEZs. These zones have their own regulators, offer 100% foreign ownership, tax incentives, and simplified procedures. The most in demand for crypto businesses are Abu Dhabi Global Market in Abu Dhabi, which has its own regulator. Legislation: the Virtual Assets Regulatory Law of 2018. License: it covers a wide range of operations with fiat and virtual assets, including brokerage activities, custodial services, asset management, trading, and depository services. DIFC, Dubai International Financial Center in Dubai. It also has its own regulatory legislation, the Securities and Derivatives Law, taking into account investment tokens. The license focuses on digital securities, security tokens, and payment tokens, utility tokens. They classify them as investment tokens. The license is intended for consultants, asset managers, custodians, broker-dealers, and market makers. Dubai's Free Economic Zones, DMCC, DWC, Shams, also have their own regulator, a specialized Dubai authority for virtual assets. It is important to understand that since 2023, all companies working with virtual assets in Dubai, except for those in the DF7, are required to obtain a license. The process includes registration in a free economic zone, for example, in the DMCC, and then obtaining a permit for a specific type of activity. The permit regulates exchange trading, brokerage and dealer services, asset management, investment, custodial services, issuance and consulting on virtual assets, transfer agent services, and others. The mainland part of the United Arab Emirates, the so-called mainland licensing, is carried out by the Department of Economic Development of the Emirates and the Central Bank. This route is more complex and often requires involving a local partner. However, it allows you to operate directly with residents of the United Arab Emirates. The Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates oversees operations with virtual assets used as a means of payment. Types of licenses and permitted activities. The exact list depends on the regulatory authority, but usually includes the following types of activities: cryptocurrency exchange, buying and selling digital assets for fiat money and vice versa, broker-dealer licenses, executing client orders and maintaining market liquidity, custodial services, secure storage of clients' private keys and assets, asset and investment management, creating and managing clients' investment portfolios, establishing crypto funds, consulting services, providing investment advice for virtual assets, token issuance services, support and assistance with initial coin offerings, exchange offerings, coins, and securities offerings. Key stages of obtaining a license using the example of free canonical zones. Choosing a jurisdiction and regulatory authority. You need to decide on the type of assets you plan to work with. For example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or tokens that represent securities. You also need to determine whether you require access to the United Arab Emirates market or not. For traditional crypto businesses, the most popular are Abu Dhabi Global Market and DMCC, preliminary submission of documents. Provide a detailed business plan, a technical document, also known as a white paper if available, and a description of your KYC client verification procedures. Anti-money laundering, AML measures, as well as information about IT security protocols. Preliminary approval. The regulatory authority reviews your application and gives preliminary consent for company registration. Next comes the stage of registering the legal entity. You need to establish a company in the selected free economic zone and obtain the appropriate trade license. Obtaining a license to operate with virtual assets. This is a separate stage. You must provide the regulatory authority with a complete set of documents. These include financial forecasts, policies, compliance with AML and CFT requirements, cybersecurity and personal data protection, information about ultimate beneficial owners, resumes and supporting documents of key employees, agreements with custodians and banks if available, and the commencement of operational activities. After obtaining the license, you need to fulfill the final requirements: rent an office, hire staff, install the necessary software, and obtain final approval to begin operations. Key requirements: share capital. The amount ranges from 35,000 to several million dirhams. Most often, this amount is 250,000 dirhams for custodial services or exchange. Local presence. It is mandatory. You are required to rent a physical office. Appoint a local employee responsible for AML compliance and have staff working in the office. Team qualification requirements. Regulatory authorities thoroughly check the ultimate beneficiaries and key executives for their experience, reputation, and education. You must comply with all regulatory requirements, anti-money laundering, and counter-terrorism financing. It is necessary to develop and implement a comprehensive system that meets international standards. For example, FATF, mandatory customer checks in KYC, with enhanced sanction lists and transaction monitoring, audit and reporting requirements. An annual audit is required, as well as regular submission of reports to the regulatory authority. Timeframes and costs. The process takes from 3 to 4 months for simple licenses in free economic zones and up to 9 to 12 months for complex licenses. Cost. State fees are approximately from $10,000 to $50,000 per year. Legal consulting services range from $30,000 to $100,000. Charter capital from $50,000 to over $1 million must be deposited in the account. Expenses for office rent, staff, and software. Important recommendations. It is extremely important to enlist the support of a law firm that has experience obtaining a crypto license in the jurisdiction you have chosen in the United Arab Emirates. Pay maximum attention to developing your business plan and all the necessary documentation. Regulatory authorities in the Emirates set high standards, but they are reasonable. They highly value thorough preparation and transparency. Start by identifying the regulatory authority, not by choosing a geographic zone. It is their requirements that will form the foundation for building your business processes. Allocate a sufficient budget and set appropriate timeframes. This is a costly and lengthy process, but it ensures the legality of your operations and access to banking services in one of the most promising countries. In summary, the United Arab Emirates has some of the most advanced and well-designed regulatory systems for crypto businesses at the global level. Despite the initial challenges of obtaining a license in the Emirates open doors to the markets of the Middle East, Asia, and Europe, significantly strengthening the trust of foreign clients and partners. In conclusion, we would like to note that our company, West Union Group, has a team of highly qualified lawyers with deep expertise in obtaining crypto licenses, including comprehensive licenses in the United Arab Emirates. And we are ready to provide comprehensive consultations on issues related to obtaining crypto licenses in this country. If the information presented was useful to you, we would appreciate your feedback. For more information or to discuss your questions, please use the contact details provided in the description or leave a comment under this video.